Hey everyone, welcome back to From Clicks to Cash. Today's episode is for photographers who think language barriers, limited connections, or starting from scratch in a new country means you can build a thriving business. Here are the three most important things you'll learn from Anderson Marques today. First is the emotional delivery system that converts clients into true advocates. Anderson never just sends a gallery link, he creates custom Zoom reveals with slideshows set to music. He asks emotional questions about key moments before showing photos, and sometimes even writes original songs for his couples using AI. This is white glove service at a completely different level. Second, how he built a business in a new country from scratch. Anderson moved to the US just 2.5 years ago and now shoots across 26 states. He breaks down exactly how Facebook and Instagram ads helped him overcome having 50,000 plus Instagram followers who are 99% in Brazil, and now he adapted to a completely different market. And third, artistic vision that kind of transcends technical perfection, from his love to 28 millimeter to capture unique perspectives, to embracing being colorblind as a differentiator, to mastering multiple exposures in camera. Anderson shows how emotion and storytelling beat pixel perfect photo every single time. Anderson has 15 years of photography experience, but moved from Brazil to Massachusetts with 2 kids, limited English, and 0 US connections. He adapted build systems and now shoots destination weddings from Orlando to New York to Boston with couples who choose him because of the emotion he captures. Emotion first, experience first. Ladies and gentlemen, Anderson Marques. Good morning, Anderson. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? I'm good. Thank you.
Um, I coincidentally, last couple conversations that I had was with photographers that were outside of the state of Florida. You happen to be in Florida. Where are you connecting from?
Orlando. I used to live in Massachusetts, but last year I moved to Orlando.
That's cool. Why did you decide to move? Massachusetts is such a beautiful
Ah,
state.
I need I need to answer this question, or you can just see the forecast.
Yeah. It's
uh,
hard to say no to sunlight, right?
yeah, exactly. And the cold winter in Massachusetts, it's crazy, man. I cannot handle that. Just 2 years, it was enough to see, oh, this is not for me.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you said 2 years, and I mentioned this during our conversation before the interview. But I am so thankful to have you here because you said 2 years. You're in the US for how long?
Yeah, just 2 years and a half.
It's absolutely mind
Actually, I
blowing.
moved from Brazil. Yeah, I moved from Brazil 2 years and a half ago with my kids and my wife.
Okay, I'm looking at your work. You're kind of all over the place. I am so thankful because we in the audience, we have a lot of folks that are maybe questioning themselves. Am I good enough? Is my language good enough?
Mhm.
In my case, I was born and raised in Poland. I moved here at 18, so it's
Mhm.
a little different story.
Yeah,
But even with that, I still, there's always like a thought in the back of your head, you know. And I know you said, I don't know if this interview is a good idea. Luckily, I talked you into it. Really happy to have you. So you've been in US for a short period of time, relatively speaking, but you are kind of all over the place. You're shooting in New York, you're shooting in Boston, you're shooting in Orlando. I think you mentioned something crazy like 20 states.
yeah. 26 states the last year and 85 weddings. Yeah, it was a
Wow, that's
great year.
unbelievable. How before we look at your history, how do so I have a lot of questions, but like how do people find you? Is it just through the website, social media?
Yeah, social media, but since I moved to America 2 years and a half ago, most part of the people don't know me here. So I
Yes.
need to invest a lot in ads, in Facebook ads, Instagram ads, websites like Zola, the knot, when wiring, all of that. I know people sometimes say, "Oh, this is don't work for me," but for me, it works very well. And this is what helped me a lot in this last 2 years, especially
Mhm.
the ads. My wife works with this with marketing, so she helped me a lot with this. So I can, I can just move to another state, or I can just live here and photograph whatever I want to. So
That's
it's
cool. Nice to have a wife on the payroll. Does she also help with
yeah.
weddings sometimes or no?
Nowadays, no, unfortunately, no. She used to be a good photographer, but nowadays she stay at
Yeah.
home with our
Yeah.
kids and doing the marketing stuff.
Totally makes sense. So we're gonna go back in time. We know where you are right now, both physically and with the
Yeah.
career, with advertising. And let's go back in time a little bit because I always like to open that door. A lot of folks in the audience, they're starting or they're scaling. They're looking at you and like the work is beautiful, right? The guy is successful. I can't count how many awards. I was looking at your Instagram. Was it 15 awards, 16 awards, 20 awards?
It was 15 trophies, but 500 photo awards. Yeah,
So,
all around the world. Yeah.
all right. So I wanted to kind of like slice and dice and say Anderson is just a regular guy, right? So let's go back in history. And the first question was uh, before all the awards, like what did the early photography look like for you? Like, were you always interested in photography? Was it an accident? Was it like, how can I make more money? And photography was the thing. Like, what happened?
Yeah, I started like 15 years ago. So at that time, it was not so easy to study. You don't have like channels like yours. You don't have a lot of uh, online courses, a lot of things. So I start going to a library, a bookstore, and
Yeah,
search for books about wedding photography, about photography, and try to improve my photography. But in that time, oh my God, my photos was not that good. I would say like the first 2, 3, or 4 years, my photos was really bad actually, but people start to hire me. But and for them, my photos was really good. And sometimes they just post again like 10 years after or 15 years after, and just to celebrate the wedding or the photos that they find again. And oh my God, I look at these photos and oh my God, I don't want to to accept this to be my Facebook, or I don't want to share in my stories in Instagram. But they love the photos because it's the most important day of their lives. And
true.
but for me, like in a professional look, when I looked at that photos, it was not good. The lighting, the silhouette was so bad. This is something that I really love to do right now, but in that time my silhouette was really
Yeah.
weird. And in that time, I always have like a main goal. I want to be a good photographer. I want to improve my skills. So I start to study. I start to search how to do that. So a lot of conference, a lot of in-person courses, one-to-one mentorship, and all of that. So this is what helped me a lot. But my photos in the beginning was really bad. I think nowadays when new photographers start, maybe in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years,
Mhm.
they can have a good level with their photography, with the skills that they can uh, study a lot here, especially online.
Mhm.
But in that time, I think we need more time to improve our skills. So this is what it was for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this story sounds very similar because a lot of photographers always say kind of the same thing. It's like when they look at their work, back in the day, usually sucks, but it like sucks from your perspective. Obviously, you had clients that
Mhm.
loved your work. So, I always say to photographers that are starting, it's like even you are not necessarily the judge of your work, right? Eventually, it's the client, the
Mhm.
person that gives you the money, right? That judges whether they're happy with the work. And apparently, you had a group of clients that were happy at that time with your work, right? So
Yeah,
probably
but
probably serving.
if I can just say something more, I
Yeah.
think this is a tricky wait to see these things sometimes, because
Hmm.
sometimes some I know a lot of photographers just say, "Oh, my clients love my work and that's it." I think this is really good, but we
Hmm.
need to say, "Oh, it's good enough for the next clients or
Yeah,
for my next goal, you know. This
yeah.
is was help me to always improve year by year, you know,
Yeah,
not
totally.
only."
A lot of photographers that are like successful photographers, the guys that go to like next level and continue going to the next level. That's really what they say. They say it's not really even time, like because a lot of people are like, oh, how long will it take me? Well, I mean, if you're it's iterations, not time. So if you do
Mhm,
it and you try to improve it and improve it and improve it and improve it, it's like it really depends on how much time you want to spend on your craft, right? And learn
mhm.
photography. Like you can probably do it maybe quicker than a year if you're constantly going at it, right? Um, Question for you on like so, but when you started, I know you're primarily a wedding photographer, right? Was
Yeah,
were was weddings like your target from the beginning, or did you do portraits? Anything else at the beginning?
I think like most part of the photographers, I start doing a lot of things,
Yeah.
kids, families, portraits, events. But something that I really want to be, it was a photographer for concerts, you know, for
Hmm.
like a rock
Yeah.
band and go
Yeah.
around the country
Yeah.
like a rock star, but like a photographer.
Uh-huh.
But never works for me, and I just did a few gigs about concert shows, concert photos.
Yeah.
But since the beginning, I start with weddings, and it started to work for me. In that time, I don't know if you have here, but you have Facebook, you have Instagram, and over there in my country, Orkut, it was a really big thing. Have you heard about this?
What is it
The
called?
this social media, it calls Orkut. It like from Google. It was
Oh,
before Facebook, like 15 years
okay.
ago. And that
Okay.
time it helped me a lot to get some wedding clients.
Yeah.
But since the beginning, it was weddings that I like most, and it was my main goal after the rock bands.
Yeah. Do you remember the first like when you go back in time, do you remember the first one like when you actually realized it's weddings when somebody like offered you more money than you probably expected? Do you remember that or no?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, more money than I was expecting now, because I don't used to
I
charge
see.
a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely remember, especially when it was my third wedding was in another state. So, oh my God, I can travel and get some money and just go for events. Oh, this is amazing. I want to do this for my whole life. So it was uh, what was in my mind in that moment. And since that moment, I realized that I want to do photos. I want to travel. I want to know different places, different cities, and it was
Yeah.
good.
I mean, you in Brazil. I know you've been like a high end level, photographer. Were you traveling around the country, or was it mostly local? Because I don't know what area you were in.
Yeah, I used to live in Brasilia, the capital of Brazil. I know a lot of people may think Rio de Janeiro is the capital of Brazil, but it's not. It's
Uh-huh.
just a more tourist city, and we have São
Uh-huh.
Paulo, but we have Brasilia is the capital. It's right in the center of Brazil. And I used to have like 80% in Brasilia and 20% maybe traveling around the country and also around the world. So I used to shoot in other countries too.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen your work. I think one of the prominent images is like Paris in front of the pyramid.
Yeah.
It's super cool. Actually, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna pull up the website very quickly.
Yeah, of course.
See if we get a feed here. Give me 1 second. And I think I just saw the image. Let me see. Let me see. That's not this one.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not this
true.
one. This
Yeah,
this is
that
the
one.
one I'm talking about. And the next
Yeah,
one
I loved
here.
it.
What isn't this in New York? This image here?
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
What is the name? The Oculus? Yeah, the Oculus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember this building. How did you have to get like special access to get there, or were there people at the time when you guys were shooting?
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of people.
Yeah,
And nowadays you have AI with on Photoshop, so I can just
yeah.
but
At the
a
beginning,
lot
at
of
the be
actually I always say New York is the city that I love to work and I hate to work because
yeah,
it's amazing, a lot of good spots for photos, but
yeah,
it's always uh, it's crazy. A lot of
yeah,
tourists and they don't care about your photos, they just want to cross in front of you.
yeah. I was always admiring photographers like yourself, because I was in Connecticut and we were asked to go
Mm.
to. I was shooting locally in Connecticut, and New York always scared me because I'm like, logistically, it's a nightmare. Like, where do you park? Where do you take the equipment? So, but yeah, but like you said, it's a phenomenal place to work. One last question: when you were starting, I'm just curious. Were you looking at kind of other photographers and like thinking, they're like special that you cannot get there? Like, were you from the beginning believing that like I can definitely get there, or were you like, no, I'm just gonna keep it low and will never be the top guy?
Actually, I remember my second year doing photos. I have gone to a photo conference, a big conference in Brazil. It calls Wedding Brazil, where they have speakers teaching about photography and all of that. And I saw that, guys, and I think, oh, maybe one day I can be there. Not because I'm good right now, but because I want to go for another level and I want to be there one day. And I
Wow.
start to have like that, like a main goal, and
Yeah.
start to improve my photos. And I remember like 2 or 3 years after, they start like a contest to have
Yeah.
another speaker for the next year. And you just need to send out your video, say what you need to teach about photography, what you want to talk about. And I tried the contest. And oh my
Yeah.
God, now I'm going to be a good photographer, top one speaker. All the other photographers are gonna know me. And I don't want that contest. It was another guy really good. He
Yeah.
did about light painting, I think, in that time.
Hmm.
But the
Yeah.
next year, they opened the contest again, and 99% of the other competitors from the last year, they didn't try again, but I was there trying again. And in that time, I was the winner of the contest to be a speaker in that conference. And it was that moment that I realized, oh, I can uh, go to another level. I can
Yeah.
try
Yes.
to be a better photographer. I can try to have more, you know, uh, teach about photography. This is something that I really love to do,
Yeah.
but I used to be really shy. I don't know if it's the right word. Shy. It's like when you
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
yeah. And for example, at school, I used to pretend I was not feeling well, or just say to my mom, I cannot go to school today. But this is something when I have a main goal, I will be there doing whatever I need to do to achieve that thing. So it was I think it was that moment that I realized that I can be in that spot too, but definitely I was not in that level yet. But 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, it was
Yeah.
working for me.
So the award, the being the speaker, I mean, that's an external validation. That's that's a proof to
Mhm.
yourself, right? Like I kind of have made it at least to the whatever level, right? Um, so it's like, because that was my next question. How long do you think it took you to get to this level where you started feeling comfort? I mean, obviously you learn all the time every day, but like,
Yeah, yeah.
is it safe to say it took about 2 years of hard work to get there?
I would say 3 years.
Three
Yeah,
years. Got it.
yeah.
Got it.
Right after 3 years, 2014, it
Yeah.
was one of my busiest year of my career, and it was when I had my first international wedding, my first award. I think a lot of things in the main in the same year. So probably 3 years was the time that
Yeah.
I needed to go for another level.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. I want to look at your work, and for those of you guys that want to see Anderson's work, I would recommend, I don't know where to send you. I mean, his website's got a lot of stuff, but I think Instagram is the place to go too because it has a lot of samples of work.
Mhm.
I can, I caught myself on your Instagram feed just kind of sitting there scrolling. And I know you probably will get to that question, but like it probably took a lot of like trial and error and figuring out and experimentation to get to where you are. But let's look at your work first. I just pulled some random photos and just had a couple questions for you. So the style, when I look at it, it's very like I don't know, call it conventional, but like black and whites and color photography. Is this like style is this like big fluffy word? I never knew what it really meant, but it's just like doing what you're, I guess, good at, what makes your eye happy, and eventually you land in a spot where then you find people that resonate with kind of your preferences, I guess. So was this intentional from the beginning, the black and white color, or was it just trying and landing in the spot?
Yes, black and white photos is something that I really love.
Hmm.
So I always try to mix a little bit in my portfolio, in my Instagram. For clients, I always deliver black and white versions. So I deliver the original ones, the color ones, and also some black and white. But they always prefer the black and white when I deliver some black and white. So
Interesting. Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
I always try to have like the emotional ones or photos where the colors are the highlight of that photo, but was not the proposal to have to be. Like for example, this one, if I'm not wrong, the bottom part of her outfit was uh had a lot of colors. So this
yeah,
one I was to highlight that moment, the smiles and that love moment of them. So this is probably why I added this photo in a black and white version too.
yeah.
And but something curious about me, I don't know if I told you, but I'm colorblind. You know what is this?
No, you didn't tell me. That's an important part for those
This
that
is
are not too sure.
yeah. I think the colorblind is the word that you say here in English,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
some colors I see in a different
yeah.
tones,
Variation.
different yeah,
Yeah,
yeah variation, yeah. And for example, the purple, the red, sometimes for me is not the same red that you can see. The
yeah,
purple for me is
yeah.
not, yeah. And sometimes I need to call my wife and say, "Honey, can you come here? Can you just double check this photo for me?" And this, so, but
That's
I
so
always
cool.
say this is my, uh, you know, uh, I can see the world in a different way that other photographers cannot see. And I say to my clients, "Oh, I have something unique for you." So,
Yeah, of course.
but I
Um,
just say about this after they sign the contract. I never say before, so they would not be afraid about that.
well, hopefully they don't see this video. I'm joking. Actually, quite frankly, I hope they do because I think if anything, transparency and honesty always brings more clients. Because you're a human. Um, the my other question was, you said so. If I heard you correctly, you deliver one set in color, one entire set in black and white, or is it mostly color, some black and white?
So I deliver the full set in color, all the
Yeah,
photos that I
yeah,
shoot, and
yeah.
like 10% in black and white versions.
Got
But
it. Makes
I
sense.
deliver the black and white versions, they also receive the color ones.
Got it. All right, let's test you on another image. So I was looking at a bunch of photos here. I'm going to flash a couple, but I was wondering, is this post production work? Is this double exposure work? Is this just shooting through objects, like layering a subject? What's going on in those images? This is like one from a wedding. This is another one. This one, I was guessing. I'm like, this is maybe double exposure. This
Yeah.
is this looks real, but maybe Photoshop enhanced or something. So what's happening here?
Yeah, I love to do some multiple exposures, some double exposure especially.
Yeah,
And can you just switch for the next one so I can?
absolutely. Yeah, this one.
So I always love to have photos that it will was not uh, possible to shoot in a one frame only.
Hmm.
So, for example, this chandelier, they were really huge, really, really huge. but
Hmm.
not that huge like you can see in this photo. So the main photo was only the chandeliers with the cake and the all of the other decoration, the
Hmm. Hmm.
background.
Hmm.
And after I just shot the couple in a black area, in a dark area, sorry.
Yeah.
And in my camera, I always try to do in my camera, sometimes in Photoshop, but I
Hmm.
95% I do in my camera. I
Okay.
have some ways to do that because sometimes you have a lot of people, a lot of things. So sometimes I just put my hands in front of my lenses to have the whole scene dark and just a small hole
Oh, wow.
where I can see the couple, and they will be right where I want to.
Wow.
Uh,
I
so
get it.
so I always try to have at least one photo in each wedding. This is something that you don't need to do like 10 photos, 15 photos, 20 photos in every single photo shoot or every single wedding. Just
Hmm.
one, two, they will, oh my God, what did you how can you do that? I cannot remember this happened. So I always try to have something like that,
Hmm.
especially with colors, sometimes with some slow shutter,
Yeah.
sometimes with something big and something small,
Hmm.
and especially with wide angle shots, I always love to do that.
Did
So
what about these photos? The sparklers here in this photo, is this post production or
yeah, this one, it was the sparkles, of course, people are holding them,
yeah,
but to highlight the artistic photo, the artistic, I just put something more, but it
yeah,
was real photos, but the other bouquet, it was real. It was not like I just got on Google or something like that,
yeah.
but it was double exposure. Yeah.
I have to tell you, I'm impressed just because the fact that I have to question is it speaks to the mastery of the photo. So I mean, when I'm looking at this, I can't really tell. I was just curious, and I'm sure everybody in the audience would be curious. Like, is this post
Mhm.
or is this real? Because it's just tastefully done, you know. So it's like
Mhm.
it's not something fake. A lot of times, photographers try to like overload it just because they can, and it looks
Mhm.
messy and not real. So this is really cool. My next question was angles. This is I'm super curious about this because when you're at the wedding, I was like, how many assistants is this guy working with? Because you're all over the place, back, forth,
Mhm.
up, down. Uh, Tell me, like during a ceremony is a good example. Are you all over the place? And it seems like maybe different places, different ceremonies. Like you don't have a cookie cutter approach of this photo, this photo, this photo, right? It almost seems like every story is unique and different for the client.
Yeah, definitely. In Brazil, I used to shoot a lot in the same churches, the same venues, because people, when you go to another level, people
Yep.
always have the weddings, the same venues, the same churches, and all of that. So I start to feel like, oh my God, I don't want to shoot the kiss or the entrances or in the same spot ever.
Yep.
So I always try to work as a second shooter, not like a main shooter. So when I'm going to another photographer or more two photographers, I will not be the main shooter doing the main things, at the eye, or I will always be in the second floor or on the side, try to have like the grandma crying and the bride walking to the aisle, trying
Yeah.
to tell the
Totally.
story in a different way than the standard way. So this is why. And in Brazil, you used to have the small weddings, it's like 200 people or
Small weddings.
150. Yeah, yeah. We have
Wow.
micro weddings, mini weddings, like
Yeah.
50 or 30,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
it's my weddings used to be 200 people at least, and a lot of them like 400, even 700 people.
Yes.
So in that time, I always had more two photographers with me.
Hmm.
So with this, I have more freedom to just walk around and do
Yeah.
different photos. And right here, sometimes I shoot weddings with not that amount of guests. So sometimes I just need another photographer or even just me. But even when even when it's just me, I try to capture the standard way and always walk a little bit because I always see photographers doing a lot of photos, a bunch of photos in the same spot, just waiting for the couple entry or or the kiss. So I shoot the kiss and I'll walk around or I will move my camera and try to capture the emotions or the focus is gonna be in the background with people clapping and they kissing again, so I always say shoot more, but not the same photos. I always try to have something different.
Yeah,
So
and
this is
and
what I try
that was
to.
my yeah, that's what I was thinking because I said this guy must be busy at the wedding, especially when you're shooting by yourself, because you do cover the safe angles. Maybe even what I wanted to say was I always struggled with this thing of when clients come, they saw your work, and and I was always questioning myself, what percentage of the work do they actually expect to kind of get the same, right? Because you don't want to flip the world
Mhm,
upside down totally and give them totally different experience, right? I mean, after all, they
mhm.
saw your website, they see the style, and it's like you can experiment, but you also have to do the safe stuff. And to do both, you're busy. I see a lot of
Mhm.
photographers, they do the safe shots, and very often they're bored in the church. They sit down and do nothing. so
Mhm.
so that's cool. I mean, stuff like this, you cannot plan for. This is not something you stage. You have to observe, right? You have to be present all the time. Like you have to walk around the church and look for moments like this because it's unpredictable.
Yeah,
So that's
exactly. And this is. Oh, sorry. You can.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a perfect example of what I was trying to talk about. It's like doing the safe shot and try to switch your focus or tell different stories like that one with the kids sleeping if you can
Mm-hmm.
switch for that.
Yeah.
uh this wedding, it was like almost 3 hours,
Oh wow.
so
Mm-hmm.
you can feel people were, oh my God, I'm hungry. They are like that, and the kid was sleeping, and this is part of the story of the day.
Right.
Especially the kid right there, and I tried to capture it. Not, I always say the couple, the bride and the groom, the main actors,
Mm-hmm.
but the how can I say the other actors in English? In Brazil, in Portuguese, we say coadjuvantes. It's like,
The the second actress. You mean there is a word.
yeah, yeah, a specific word for the actresses and the actors. They
Yeah,
are
yeah,
not
yeah,
the
yeah.
main.
Never mind. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but people know. Yeah,
Yeah,
just search on Google after, guys. But I always say bride and groom. They are the main actors, but the other actors of the wedding, they are really important because I married 10 years ago, and I remember was not difficult to choose the venue, the decor. It was difficult, but not so difficult like the guest list when you need to pick the main friends or the people of your family that you want to invite to your wedding. So all of that guests are important for that couple. So I try to capture their emotions, their how they are feeling, how they are, and trying to have something more.
yeah.
And especially when it, oh, sorry.
No, finish.
And when we talk about this one, for example, and
Mhm.
I always, like you told, try to have the safe shot, the safe angles, but I shoot a lot with lenses that is not the same type of view that we have with our eyes. I'm not the most technical photographer, but
Mhm.
people say our eyes looks like the same uh thing, like a 50 millimeters, right?
Yeah,
So the same type of distortion and all of that. So I don't love to shoot with 50. I love to shoot with 28 or 7200. So I have different views of that scene that people cannot feel in the same way. So when
Yeah.
I shoot with 28, I can have a angle with things in front of my camera that's gonna be huge, or with
Yeah.
the 7200, I can have the background close with the couple, like in this one.
Yeah, no, totally agree with you. Because it automatically it's different. Your brain is like you said, we don't perceive see the world this way, right? So it's
Mhm.
automatic attractive to our eyes. And I think the answer to your question before was, isn't it supporting cast or supporting actor? I think that's
Yeah,
what it's called.
yeah,
um,
exactly.
one more thing here. This was actually very interesting. Actually, let me switch to this one first before we talk about the other one. This high contrast, dark. I mean, this the boy that was sleeping. This image, another image. You like to play with light, and very interesting. Um, what makes you pick images between, like, like what's a good candidate for an image like this? Do you just go through your photos and you see something and that's how you pick it?
Sorry, can you just repeat the last phrase?
Yeah,
Just
like how
because
how do you how do you pick photos for this editing, this light and dark thing?
actually specific these two photos was
Mhm.
not that much about the editing. It's more about the real light in that moment.
Oh wow, okay.
Because I love to see the whole scene and try to uh have the couple or have the groom or have the bride in some specific spot that I can highlight
Mhm.
just the mouth or just the lips or just the eye or just something more um dramatic or something more with more mystery,
Yeah.
and because especially when we talk about the wedding album, the printed album, I don't like to have like the bride right in the first page. I like to have just the detail of the hands, just a shadow, just
Yeah.
just the eye. And after you're gonna see the bride, and after you're gonna see the groom. It's like when you open a gift, when you receive a gift, you're gonna see
Yeah.
this part, and after this part, and after the second page, you're gonna see the whole thing.
That's
So
cool.
this is I always try to do. Of course, I will do some in the edit moment. I will have more contrast or have
Hmm.
more
Hmm.
blacks, but 90% of the photo is gonna be when I'm shooting.
Very, very cool. Yeah. So you like to tease them and tell a story and kind of build up the emotion, the momentum as they watch the album. That's awesome. One last pair here. It's this image here. They're in front of the hotel, maybe. Yeah, and and this image here. Like, you really have to spend time with your client, and they have to be comfortable with you. To Because some photographers, like, this is probably end of the night moment, right? Some
Mhm.
photographers, 8 hours, I'm going home, but like that's exactly what they miss, right?
Mhm.
So you obviously you're comfortable with staying with the client. They get comfortable with you to allow you to take those shots, because this is really their story. This is how they act, right? This is really about them.
Yeah, actually, of course, depends of the package that they hire me,
Yeah.
but I love to be there until the end because these moments they cannot be in the timeline. They will never put, oh, the groom will be in the shower with the groomsman at the end of the night. No, this is something that People Crazy was, and you get the groom and do, and this was a destination wedding,
Mhm.
and people just have the whole hotel for the wedding, and all of the guests was there. So even me was sleeping there in that night, so I was
Oh,
there
okay.
until the end. And they get the groom and throw to the pool right after this
Yeah.
photo. And I remember I have a photo of that moment with the groom throwing the pool and the bride crossing in the background, looking like that.
Yeah.
So if I can be there at the end, it's always great because uh, the bride and groom sometimes they will not put this photo in the wedding album, the printed album, but this is a type of photo that you're gonna be in all of the friends, all of the group
Absolutely.
friends. So sometimes it's photo that can help me with my marketing with my next clients even more than the photos like the classic ones looking at each other with a good light. So
Yeah, and this is the message for Anderson's clients, guys. I'll do the selling for him. So this is exactly when we're talking about higher packages, more time, being more intimate, and those special moments. This is exactly what you get, and those moments are sometimes more important than the classical photos, right? So definitely consider the highest package he offers. So yeah, so things go well, we have looked at the work, we know the story. I want to know when things go south or not as planned. So like you're shooting all over the place, different states. Did did you have a moment somewhere in your career where like you really got nervous because of like, I don't know, equipment wasn't getting there on time or travel was delayed or anything? And how did you handle that?
yeah, I was lucky enough in this 15 years in more than 2000 weddings and photo shoots. I never had to don't be at the wedding, and I have a lot of delay flights or even canceled flights. But thanks God was I always have enough time to be there. I always try to go in the night before the wedding, so I have some time to be there on time. But I think what I was more afraid about was not about the equipment or the time, was more when I moved to America and I was not good, like we talked about in the beginning, about my English, like right now, about this interview. And
Mhm.
when I moved to America and I don't speak English so well, I was more afraid about this than the other things. And I used to have like a guy with me just to be my translator. I used to pay a guy like the first 3 or 4 weddings just to say some words that I will not remember in that moment,
Yeah,
and just to be more calm, because it's the wedding day. It's stressful for the photographer. If he care about the wedding day, we will be stressful because it's an important moment for the couple. You can not lose photos, you cannot lose moments. So I'm always a little bit anxious about that.
yeah,
When the bride is coming, I will always be, oh my God, I need to pay attention, all of that. So in that time when I need to have someone with me, it was helping me to be more calm. And
yeah.
but the other things was, thanks God, was it works really well always.
Cool. I have a good news for you, Anderson. Your English is fine, because I know in our head it's this story that we tell ourselves, that it's not good enough, not whatever. And it's like
Mm.
I'm talking to you, listening to you, and I actually expected, like when you told me that you were concerned about the interview, I'm like, well, how bad can it get? And like we're 40 minutes into a conversation, and I don't think anybody has a problem understanding you. Hey, so you said
I know
you are
you are using AI to translate in your phone.
the you said you interesting that you said that, because I don't think I had a single photographer here, and these guys are all like high level photographers where they all say they get nervous still, so it never goes away. Sounds like. Would you
Mhm.
agree?
Yeah, definitely. And I think if it goes away, it's
You should
because you
stop.
are not carrying them anymore. Yeah, and
Yeah,
you need to think about this,
yeah,
because maybe it's something that you just going for the money and not about the couple. And if you don't care about that, you need to think about.
yeah. Did you ever run into a problem at the wedding? Any, I don't know, brides fainting or something issue? Problem with
Mm, yeah, I don't think so. Just small things like delays on the timeline, or something that happens in every single weekend in a lot of weddings, but nothing so big, nothing so special.
yeah. All right, cool. Let's change gears a little bit. And typically, sometimes I pick like an area of business and then I ask questions around that. With you, I just wanted, because you're very unique in terms of like having the multiple locations. And I want to know typically uh, what does your like? Let's pretend I'm your client. What does the journey typically look like, and how much in advance clients have to book you? So, like, walk me through an example of a client, right? When they have a wedding, let's say in 2027, do they call you in 2026? Is it recommended that they call you earlier than, like a year, like maybe 2 years ahead of time? And then let's walk through the process. So what happens first? How early do they call you before the actual event?
Perfect, good question. Most part of them, they call me and book it with me like 1 year before at least.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sometimes even more, 1 year and a half, 2 years. I have weddings for the end of the 2027 right now.
Hmm.
So if you can uh, have your wedding date booked before, it's always good. Because
Hmm.
sometimes like 2 months before, people call me, oh, do you have this date? No, unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
Like we are doing a lot of weddings, like 85 weddings, 80, 90 weddings, and we just have like 52 weekends per year. So, I will be busy in 95% of that. But they always book me like at least 1 year. You want me to tell you the whole journey about the whole process?
Well,
Or
let's take it step by step. So we know how soon they have to call. Now I'm gonna ask this other weird question, but like, obviously you have a lot of weddings, and the thing is, when they call, is it what if there's a client that says, well, my wedding is really off season? Is there such a thing as like off season for Anderson, or can they expect that like some season is maybe more affordable, some season is, like, I don't know. You were in Orlando, so it's summer pretty much all the time, but
Mhm,
depending on where they are, do you discount your not discount? That's a bad word, but like, do you work with
mhm.
clients on pricing depending on when it is, or it's firm because you're so busy?
No, actually, it's for because for me, it's the same type of work that I will have to,
Yep. Yep.
especially for weddings in other states. I have a lot of works too.
Yep.
So for me, doesn't matter, especially because I should not only in Orlando or only in Boston, and
Hmm.
for me, it's the same.
Hmm. So
And
they book.
actually, I think it's part of the marketing for some photographers,
Hmm.
but I always try to have the plan for my whole year and doing like my main goals. Oh, for example, next year I want to have at least 8 weddings. I want to have at least 20 weddings, at least 40 weddings. Doesn't matter the number because each photographer have your own goals. But it's important to have the plan for the next year at least, or I would say at least 2 years, because a lot of photographers just think about the moment, about today, and not about the future.
Yeah.
And if you are seeing, oh, the next year, I don't have a lot of inquiries. What can I do for this? What can I try to think, or what can I try what
Yeah.
can I try to
Improve.
do?
Improve.
So
Yeah.
yeah, to improve. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense. Um. So before they even book, because some of them are remote, right? Do you have a Zoom call, or do you just hop on a phone? How do you handle that?
Um, I would say 80% of the couples we have a Zoom call at least.
Hmm.
I always prefer to have Zoom call than phone calls so I
Yeah.
can share a slideshow.
Yep.
Actually, I can share right here so people can see my process in like a Zoom call with a couple.
Okay.
But something that it's really important to me, it's like look at your eyes and say something that I care about the weddings and hear
Yeah.
about their expectations, their plans, So just a phone call, they are holding the phone and they are cooking or they are, with the
Yeah.
kids. But when
Yeah.
they are in front of the computer or in front of their phones, they are pay attention about you. So for me, it's really important. But sometimes just some couples, they are just so the decision is so easy for them. They just say, "Oh, I love this package. Can we go forward? How can we have you book it in?" I just
Yeah.
send the contract and go for it.
So you have the meeting. They send the contract. What do you when you onboard your clients? Do you have like an automated system, some sort of a platform that sends them then like emails, just because it's curating to the customer, it's serving your customer? Is there like an automation system that takes care of it for you after they sign?
Actually, I should have something like that,
Mhm.
but I would say I'm old school and I still doing, I know it's not the more intelligent way to do that,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
this is
yeah.
something that I want to think about in some time. But nowadays I prefer to do by my own the most
Hmm.
part of things, and I have a person with me who helped me with this.
Yeah.
So I try to have more, something more specific for each couple, and some about when I have the Zoom call, I don't talk about the wedding or about the contract. I talk about their story, their love, the connection. So sometimes I use this in my emails. Just say you don't send an email. Oh, are you excited for the wedding? Or I would say, oh, are you excited to relive that moment, uh, like the first kiss when you go to a party, something that they tell me before,
Yeah.
so
So
they're
so it's
gonna feel more.
personalized, highly personalized,
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I gotcha. So they book now. They have, let's say it's 12 months before the wedding. Anything happens from your end, like between the booking and the actual wedding? Like, do you talk to them? Do you reach out? Do you have like online forms? I don't know, anything where you collect information, or how does that work?
Yeah, I love to send at least one or two emails in this time, like 6 months before, just to say, oh, how is the wedding planning going? If I can
Hmm.
help you with something, or if I can, refer some good vendor for something, just tell me. And but the most important thing is like 1 or 2 months before I have another Zoom call to go through the timeline and to plan the photo moment with the family, and especially the photo shoot with them. And I try to have this before they have the final timeline, so they can plan the timeline with this in mind. So I say, oh, I would need at least 30 minutes with your details, at least 30 minutes with some photos with you and your mom or your sister, helping you with the final touches of your dress, and at least 30 minutes for a portrait with you, and more the first look more 30 minutes, I would say something that they need to care about, because people just think, oh, we have 10 groups of my family, I just need 10 minutes for this, just 1 minute for each group. They think something like that. So
Yeah, yeah,
they don't realize what is the real thing that they need to care about.
yeah, yeah, yeah. True. They So now the event, obviously, you do your thing during the event. What happens with delivery or any sort of like teasers? Do you do like same day slideshow, or do you send some images like just to do a tease the day after? Or and then what happens with the actual photos? How long does it usually take? This and then the album. So four things: same day, next day, photos, and album. How does that work on your end?
Okay, good question. For me, this is something, I don't know, it's the right word, like polemic. It's like people talking about a lot, but this is something that people sometimes they think something, and the other guys think something different.
Mm-hmm.
But I know nowadays people they love to have something really quick,
Yep.
like
Yep.
the same day. It's great, it's
Mm-hmm.
good, but I think it's not good for your photos and your work,
Yeah.
because I think about two things. If you
Mm-hmm.
need to stop to do the same day photos at the event, like at the reception, and
Yep.
even if you have the second shooter, but we will not be there, or
Correct.
the second
100%.
shooter will do this for you, but it will not be the same thing that you do that, and you will lost a lot of good moments. So this is not good for the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you deliver right at the night, man, you need to rest a little bit. Not only rest your mind, but rest your photos. But what I'm talking about photos, what I'm trying to talk, it's because at that night or even the next day,
Mm-hmm.
people can remember every single moment of the wedding day. People
Hmm.
can remember how they looked, how they felt, and how it was the decor, how it was the first dance. But some days after, they will not relive with all of that details. So
Yes.
that is the perfect moment that your photos can remember them, and they can feel that thing again, and
Hmm.
they will care a little bit more. They will pay
Yeah.
attention a little bit more about your photos, especially because they have a lot of photos of the guests, a lot of photos of the vendors. Nowadays they have the content creators and all of that. So I don't rush a lot to deliver my photos because I prefer they they feel like, oh, I miss my wedding day. I want to relive that thing. So a few days after, they will relive with the
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
with some highlight moments.
Yeah. So when is the first time they see the work?
Probably in 1 week, I try to send like a sneak peek with
1 week.
at least, yeah,
Yeah.
30 photos.
Okay.
And my contract, I would say, it's saying like the maximum for the delivery it's 60 days,
Hmm.
but I try to deliver the full gallery in 20 to 30 days. Depends of the season if it's busiest or not.
Do you do all the editing, or do you have somebody that does editing?
I have someone that helped me, but with more, I do the final thing, like
I
the
get it.
final
Yeah.
touches and all of that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
love, especially the culling, because some photos I think, oh, this is the main moment of this sequence,
Hmm.
but other person can think, oh, this is the other one, but for me it was the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah. 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 Makes sense. And then, so then you deliver. Do you, since you don't have the automated system, let's test you here. So, do you follow up with that client ever for either reviews or recommendations or any other work? Like, I'm talking about lifetime value of the client. Like, does the relationship end there, or is there more?
Okay, really good question. I know a lot of people just send the gallery like a link by
Hmm.
email and just wait, right?
Yep.
And they spend like 2 days. Oh my God, my couple love the photos or they don't love the photos, and
Hmm.
they are always struggling with this. But I think this is this is again, your photos deserve something more. Your the moments that the couple live deserve something more. So I never just send the link by email. I always do another Zoom call after the wedding. For example, 30 days after the wedding, like I'm here talking with you, and I always prepare a slideshow with the highlight moments with at least 120 photos, 150 photos, so they can hear a music. Sometimes it's the music that they use for the entry to the aisle, the bride entry to the aisle, or
Yeah.
sometimes when I have time, or in the start of the couple are more, they are something specific. There's something unique. I do a song by my own. I love to wrote songs, so I wrote some lyrics, and nowadays we can use AI to do a really
Oh my
amazing
God.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
and
Wow.
and the slide
That's
in the
next level
slideshow.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Like I told you, it's like more personalized.
Absolutely.
And so can you see the different? Receive the link, the gallery in a link by
Oh,
email in the middle of the day,
yeah.
working in your computer, doing your stuff, saying, oh my God, I don't know, 700 photos. Oh, I can see this after when I go home. But in my way, I just do a Zoom call most part of the time at night after work, so they can be together, they can be relaxed. I ask
Yeah.
some questions. For example, I pick like two photos, and can I ask you something before I present your slideshow? And I ask the room, how did you felt in that moment? I put like a highlight photo with the bride coming to the aisle and him crying, looking at her. So he will tell something that maybe he didn't tell to her about that moment, what
y-
he felt in that moment.
yeah,
Or I don't know, the bride with the dad with the dad inside the car, how it was that moment to live with your dad, how it was have your dad over there with you, you know. You
yeah,
can just ask some questions so you can prepare them to watch the slideshow
yeah.
and just not send the gallery, you know, a random moment in the middle of the day. So and sometimes when I do this song, for example, I did this for two couples that just hired me for the engagement shoot, and I did this for a photo shoot slideshow, and they used the song that I wrote in the wedding day. Can you imagine that? So the bride going to the aisle with the song that I wrote, and you know it was amazing.
Wow, man, this is what do they call it? White glove, next level of the white glove service. Yeah, this is I'll be honest. I've heard catering to the client meeting. I've never heard like the song, and this is personalization at a different level. In a way, I'm not shocked. But that's really cool, and I resonate with you. A lot of it is emotions. I had a conversation recently with one of the photographers, and they struggled because they said I can't get my prices up, and one of the questions was like, how do you deliver? And it's just a link and files. I'm like, you can't get
Mhm,
you can't get emotional about a link and files in the gallery.
mhm,
This is sitting with a client presenting at Canva, because you know what people will do with files? Nothing. they, most people will do nothing, and it's a totally different experience. And like you're saying, it's very important because photographers care about a client at the beginning of the game, but not so much at the
mhm.
end of the game. And I think those that care at the end of the game the same way as they care about the beginning
Mhm.
win in this industry. Just a
And in
general.
the end, it's when they refer you for other clients, for other
Absolute.
couples.
Yeah, it's a
And
walking
they
billboard.
will, for example, the slideshow, I always have a link, a specific link. So they will share the link of the slideshow, and sometimes they will not share the gallery because, you know, have a lot of moments of other people, they don't want to share all of the
Yeah,
photos.
true,
So, but
true.
the slideshow, they will definitely send to the guests.
All right, so I think we understand your process. Is there anything magical in the end? Is this it? That's how delivery happens.
Yeah, this is how delivery app
Yeah,
happens.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you asked me about the reviews, and so after they cry with the slideshow, I will say, "Oh, can you review me on Google or Zola or not?" So
yeah.
they will do that.
You're pulling, my friend. You're pulling all the psychological strings correctly. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
your wife in marketing or you or a good coach, but yeah, no, totally makes sense. All right, we have talked about the process. I am going to switch gears again and ask you some quick questions. Most of these are yes, no, or quick answers. If you get stuck, we'll just move on to the next one. I have a list, and this one is more about just who is Anderson. So let's just start with the first one. Let's see how many we can cover. So first one
Okay.
is one lens you would keep forever.
Sorry, I didn't understand the first word.
No, it's okay. One lens that you would keep forever. Like, what's your favorite
Ah,
lens?
one
That
lens.
Yeah,
28. 28.
28
28, and
prime.
that's it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What do you shoot with?
Nikon.
Nikon. Got it. Favorite Brazilian food you missed when traveling?
Churrasco is steak. Yeah.
All right,
Barbecue, actually. Yeah.
cool. Midday or nighttime light? What's tougher?
Tougher.
Yeah, like
Uh,
straight
yeah,
sun or darkness.
midday, but nowadays I love midday for dramatic shadow and light photos.
Gotcha. Do you off camera lighting? Do you just carry? Do you have somebody with you that's off camera carrying light, or is it just you with the flash?
Just me and sometimes some light stands with, but I don't have a assistant just for that. Sometimes the
Okay,
second shooter help me, but it's not
gotcha.
something that I used to.
You mentioned you love New York, so the question is, for your on your day off, would it be a beach or a city on your vacation?
Probably city. We love to go to museums and architecture things. Yeah.
Cool. Um, do you plan your you kind of answered that question, but like, do you plan your shoots or you just kind of go with the flow? Is it more you're more like a structured guy? Here's what we're doing, and we're gonna try to stay as close, or do you just kind of have an idea and you show up and then you work?
Yeah, just go to the flow. I prefer to have my mind open for anything that's gonna be in front of me because the light will not be the same that you realize or your
Yeah,
expectations before.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Favorite tradition from home that you still keep in your home now?
Oh, this is a good one. Mm,
What are
yeah,
Brazilians doing that you like and you still do?
yeah, something that we uh the tradition for me, but it's not something traditional. It's to talk with my mom every single day, even if
Wow.
she lives in Brazil,
Yeah,
and we are really connected,
yeah.
and something like that.
Good for you, man. It's very intentional. I know it's actually tough to do that. I don't know. Maybe it's for you
Mhm.
and that it's natural now, right now, you know. But I
Yeah.
know I at one point said, hey, I have to do something with my sister because in order to get the relationship improve and just care about each other, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
you actually like I actually have to on the calendar have to remember because it naturally just life gets busy and
Hmm.
it's always the second thing.
Yeah,
Um,
and sometimes just one important thing, just sometimes you're gonna feel that just when you cannot do that again. So this is something that
exactly.
it happens with me, with my dad that passed away. So
Sorry
this
to
is
hear that.
something
Yeah.
that it really changed my mind about that. And
Yeah,
if I
yeah,
can just tell the story very quickly,
yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
I lost my dad in a month that uh, I was traveling 5 different countries: Italy, France, Switzerland, Germany. I don't remember the other one. And in that month, I was having a good career, a lot of good moments in my career, but I was not having time to just visit him in that month. And after that, when he passed away, I just realized, oh my God, I cannot just have a good moment in my career, but just forget about the moments with my family. So this is
Oh my
something
God.
important
I
for me.
will so I will say something that's almost scary. I resonate with you because my dad passed about 5 years ago now. And the same thing happened to me. I had a switch in my career. Phenomenal day. I get off the phone right after I receive a phenomenal news, and my wife goes, "Your dad is in the hospital." You know what I mean? It's just strange how things work, in life. So yeah, being intentional is very, very important.
Yeah.
Favorite favorite moment in the wedding day? Like which part of the wedding is your favorite? Prep, ceremony, reception?
Probably the reception. I like the vibes of the reception, the
Yeah.
people just enjoying the moment.
Are Brazilian weddings as loud as like Polish weddings where they party until God knows what time, like 3, 4 in the morning?
Sometimes 6 a.m. So
Yeah, I
actually,
totally.
it's weird for me here in America when people just say, "Oh, it's just 11 p.m. We finish," or really? Can we go
Yeah,
through 3 a.m.? No, no, we cannot.
yeah, well, right. Um, when you edit, favorite song or favorite music? Do you listen to music when you edit? Yeah. So do you have something
Mm,
that you go to all the time?
Man, I really need to hear music because I have ADHD. I think this is a
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, you know.
yeah,
And if I'm not in the music, help me to pay attention about what I'm doing. And I
yeah.
always have like a playlist like indie folk rock music.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is
Good,
something that helped me a lot.
cool. Do you prefer local weddings or destination weddings? Destination weddings are harder because you have to plan logistics, but like, do you actually like different locations?
Uh, Nowadays, I prefer destination weddings because I can visit different cities and different locations.
If somebody said, Anderson, you can't touch camera for the rest of your life, what do you think you would be doing?
I used to painting
Hmm.
to, and I love music a lot. I play guitar and probably something artistic too, something music or
Man,
artistic.
you're all over the place with the art. It's so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, um, and then I think I know the answer to this one, but I'll ask anyway. If I gave you, so Brazil plays in the finals, soccer team, and I give you the ticket to the game or ticket to like a great photography convention, you can only take one. Which one would you choose?
Oh, nowadays probably the final game because we don't won World Cup for a long time, like 20 years, I think.
Uh-huh.
And because I have been a lot of big conference, so probably I can go another year for another conference, but not for a final
Yeah,
of a
yeah, yeah,
soccer
true.
game.
Good answer. All right, let's talk about future just quickly. Uh, so I'm gonna ask you about your next purchase, equipment wise. Are you planning something like either equipment or software or something on your mind that you're planning on purchasing? Or
Yeah, we start to offer video in like package these
mm,
last months, like 5 months ago, I think. So I'm planning to, because nowadays I always hire some guys that I trust and they have your own equipment, but I'm planning to have the Nikon ZR for a video. So
yep.
have a next level for my videos and have the same type of footage for the video too.
So somebody will be doing that work. I can't see you doing this work. You're already busy.
Yeah, yeah. It's something that I will direct maybe like I want
Yeah, yeah,
this or but
yeah.
for video I always prefer to have my photos. I try to have more dynamic moments so they can just go with me and do their things. But I will not. Maybe on the photo shoot, the engagement session, I can do some stuffs, but just to have
Yeah.
a little bit more.
You're doing mostly weddings. So like with headshots, it will be a specific software for AI, whether it's calling, selecting images, or editing images. Do you use AI at all right now?
Right now, we are using the aftershoot to help us for the beginning, just to have the exposure, the contrast, like in the similar ways. And I also use a lot Evoto,
Mm-hmm.
especially for photo shoots, for
Okay.
skin, for you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and all of that. But for
Do you?
weddings, it's so expensive to use Evoto,
Yeah.
so I use more for photo shoots.
Got it. Do you use it? You must be using AI for like you mentioned your wife marketing. So you probably are you leveraging AI there, right? For copy, website, messages, maybe. I don't know. Messages you're writing yourself, but you're using AI probably for that.
Yeah, yeah. Nowadays, I think we need to use AI to have more time to do other things.
Yeah.
So we use for some things, but always we just uh, check how it works and it looks like we are talking about. So for copy, for all of that, we use a little bit.
Yeah. For the future of your business, how are we gonna scale Anderson? Because there's only one. So are you
Mhm.
planning on just keep elevating your prices and just making yourself this exclusive photographer? Or do you think you're gonna at one point say, I'm gonna just get like two, three photographers and teach them what
Mhm.
what I do, or what's the plan?
Yeah, for the next 2 years, actually, I have started about that. You will have another brand under me for so I can this will gonna help me to improve my prices by my
Mhm.
own and sell
Yeah.
the other brand when I cannot be there. Nowadays, I have some weddings there that I will not be there. Of course, the couple know about that, so I sell the team. But since I use my own name for my company, so
Mhm.
they want me to be there most part of the time. And when I say, oh, I don't have your date, but I can send my second shooter, my team, and sometimes, oh, really? I would love to have you. So maybe in
Yeah.
another event we can talk about. But if I have another brand with a strategy specific for that, it's gonna be great. So you have my own brand in high prices and another brand in medium prices.
Yeah. So you're gonna be the VIP experience, and then there's gonna it's just you, right? and then another level. I'm just curious, what's the highest price you ever heard for a wedding?
What is the highest price? What was?
For a wedding, like photographer charging for a wedding. What's the highest price you ever heard? Like how much for a wedding?
I have heard 50K, 60K,
Yeah, yeah.
and some guys
Um,
are doing great stuffs. I'm not in that level yet, but this is the main goal.
well, you're close. You're close, and I think a lot of it. I think I got to tell you, when I look at the marketers online or product, or especially lately in like online education and stuff, it's a lot of it is perception, a lot of it is exclusivity, like in your case, and a lot of it is access, like again in your case, if you would like to work with Anderson, and usually those guys, when you hear the like the ceiling is that high, usually it's a team of people, right? So it's not just Anderson running or Marcin running around, right? It's a team, so it's a different cost. But it is crazy. It is crazy. People don't realize that. People think that 5,000 or 8,000, 10,000 is the limit, but it's like it's much higher than that. Um, and the last thing is, Anderson, is somebody from Brazil, a new photographer kid that speaks English as well as you do, arrives in Orlando, and they want to start photography business, and maybe they have $2,000 saved up. What would you say somebody starting? Should they be spending money on equipment? Should they be renting equipment? Should they like what's the recommendation here?
Okay, so they don't have any equipment, or they have
They don't. They can
something.
they can rent. Let's raise it up. It's 3K, because renting equipment camera is
Yeah,
probably for 3 days, $150 maybe, right?
yeah,
Three
yeah, exactly. And you
lenses.
can.
Total rental would probably be these days like 450 for like everything you need for the wedding, right?
Mhm.
So what
Yeah.
do they do with the rest of the money? 2,500. Do they spend on Facebook ads? What do they do?
Okay, really good question. I wish I can hear the answer for this one 3 years ago, because I spent a few months trying to figure it out how it works for me. Because when I
Yeah,
moved to America, I
yeah,
just have a couple of friends, that I showed the wedding like in Brazil a few years ago, and that's it. I have never lived in Massachusetts. I have never visited Massachusetts, and I decided to move to Massachusetts because of my kids and the future of them. I have two kids with autism, and over there it's a great state for that. But I decided to move there, but I don't have any specific strategy for the American industry, and I don't know a lot of people over there when I moved. So I decided just to send a lot of posts on Facebook groups, and didn't work. Uh, and I decided to post organic in my Instagram, and didn't work because my followers, it's from Brazil in that time. I have more than 58K followers, but 99% of the Brazil. So people just, oh my God, I will not be able to do that. So what helped me a lot, it was definitely the Facebook and Instagram ads.
yeah,
If I don't have this option for me, definitely will not work.
yeah,
Uh, I would say 80% of my career here in America depends of this in these 3 years. So I will split maybe in two different campaigns, one for photo shoots, another one for weddings. And you have a lot of different strategies. You can
yeah,
just
yeah,
try to sell directly your your
yeah.
your thing, but you can do something different, and you
It's very
need to,
yeah. Go ahead.
and you just need to try to study the specific market, because it's so different from my country. Like, for example, over there we use a lot WhatsApp, and here they don't use a lot WhatsApp. They use more
Mhm,
forms. They use more Instagram, Facebook. Facebook in Brazil is not so big anymore. Here
mhm.
it's still a thing. So you need to just to pay
Yeah,
attention about these details.
interesting. And I got to tell you, it's kind of shifting all over the place because I remember when people at one point moved from ads to like, no, just do organic. But now with AI, it's so saturated. There's so much messaging going around because it's just generated out of AI that like seems like ads are the only way to like punch through this wall. And then you're right, you have to test no matter what. Like there's no one solution follow this, right? You have to even test with ads and see what works, what doesn't, and then just kind of take it from there. So I 100% agree with you. If somebody is looking for you, I want to pull up your website. Where do we send them? This is your main website. Is this where people can easily find you through the website?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
or
What
my
are the other
Instagram too.
places? So Instagram, Facebook, but like website, if they go fill out a form, they can find you.
Yeah, exactly. And if I can help you, if you are a photographer or if you are a bride that you want a photographer, just send me a message and I will be happy to talk with you.
Absolutely. Anderson, thank you for taking time away from your family. This was time well spent. I appreciate having you. This is fantastic information. I know my audience, hopefully your clients, your audience will enjoy it. Thanks for spending the morning with me. This was super cool. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be here with you and talk with you. And uh, I have, I wish, sorry. Now, after 1 hour talking English, now I cannot talk in English anymore. But it was really good to talk with you. And I hope we can talk again in the future in some moment. I would love to interview you maybe sometime and hear about your history too and your goals and your what is your
Yeah.
mind too. I'm sure it's gonna be a great moment too in some
Uh,
moment in the future.
Sounds good. I'm not too far away from you, so maybe we can one of those times do lunch or something in Orlando.
Yeah, gonna be great. Let's
All
talk
right.
about it.
All right, man. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.